If your saddle looks like this or like this in an extreme tilted position, you need help because there's something pretty majorly wrong with your bike setup. So in this video, I want to help you understand saddle tilt further to be more comfortable on the bike. I also want to explain the common mistakes I see people making and also how some people are positioning their saddles to make them more aero and more powerful. Now then, saddle tilt, just in case there's any doubt about what it is, refers to the angle of the saddle of your bike when the bike is placed on flat, level ground. Now the easiest way to measure your saddle tilt is with your phone. You can use a level or measuring app, place the phone on the middle third of your saddle. You want that bit of the saddle to be level, flat, or 0 degrees, or however you prefer to say it. Extreme saddle tilt, either up or down, is always to be avoided. I'm talking plus or minus 10 degrees or more. But what about more conservative levels of saddle tilt, I hear you ask? Well, this is where things get slightly more complicated. And this is something that we also see a lot of pro riders doing, both male and female. Most notably, think along the lines of Tadej Pogačar. I mean, if saddle tilt is good for him, it's going to be good enough for you. And it's something we also see lots of everyday riders trying too. So, should you consider giving it a go? Well, potentially so. Now, the idea behind having a tilted nose-down saddle is to try to help reduce pressure on those sensitive, soft tissue areas and place a little bit more pressure towards the back of the saddle on our sit bones, which seems pretty logical to me. But there's also some really interesting research out there that suggests by having a nose-down tilted saddle, it could help you to achieve a more aerodynamic riding position and potentially develop more power to climb faster. Now, if that's true, it's going to be brilliant news for everybody, and I'll dive a little bit deeper into that research later on in the video, because first things first, if you are struggling with saddle pain, trust me, I feel your pain. I've been there as well. I've been there struggling with saddle discomfort, riding for fun, or for years when I was riding as a pro, and so have thousands of other people too. But the one thing I really want to reiterate to everybody is that cycling doesn't need to be painful, so if it is, don't put up with it. The most likely cause for your discomfort is going to be from using the wrong saddle shape and design. And then by tilting the nose down, it's allowing you to ride on a section that is more suited to you. It's kind of like masking the problem rather than fixing it. Having a saddle that's too wide is a pretty common problem, and then tilting the nose down effectively forces you to use the narrow section of it. Having a saddle height that is too high for you often leads to riders tipping the nose of the saddle down to help reduce their effective saddle height. And then also it could be that your saddle to handlebar drop is a little bit too extreme for what your flexibility or core stability can handle. And then by again lowering the nose of the saddle, it helps alleviate that problem slightly. Now, there are no one rule fits all situations here, so there always are going to be exceptions, but they're some of the more common things that I see people doing when adjusting the tilt of their saddle. Broadly speaking though, saddles from all different brands should have this middle to front section level, and that's always going to be used as your starting point when setting everything up. Now here at GCN we use Celtalia saddles, and I'm using the SLR 3D printed model. I've been using that for about a year or so now, but I've also recently switched across to using the Cel San Marco short fit all-road saddle on my gravel bike. Now, Celtalia are actually one of our sponsors here at GCN, enabling us to make this and other videos for you guys to enjoy for free. But the information that we're discussing here will be able to help you regardless of what saddle brand that you're using. Now, hopefully, armed with that information, you are going to be well on your way to finding a more comfortable saddle and riding position. But I want to talk more about the possibility of achieving a more aerodynamic riding position and more power for climbing with your saddle tilted down. Because can you really expect to gain those things just from a small change in saddle angle? Possibly so, because a number of bike fit experts suggest that by having a nose down tilted saddle, it promotes your pelvis to be able to rotate forwards, and this will enable you to be in a more low aerodynamic position and have a flatter back. Perfect for pro riders or those people that want to go fast. But what about when the speeds are lower and you want to generate more power, say when climbing? Well, a study conducted in 2022 by Ross Wilkinson and Roger Cram tested 19 different cyclists indoors on a cycling treadmill, cycling up an 8% gradient. And they were doing repeated 5-minute efforts. And they tried 2 different saddle angles, level and a -8 degree incline, so the nose down. What they found was a measurable difference in riders' efficiency. How much was it? Well, just 1.4%, so don't expect this to turn you into Tadej Pogacar, but it means it's something that could be worth a try. Since I started thinking about this video a number of weeks ago, I have tried riding with different saddle tilt angles myself, and honestly, I found no difference in terms of performance or comfort. If anything, I found it slightly detrimental to my riding because I was constantly shuffling myself back on the saddle rather than just enjoying the ride. And so far in this video, I've only really spoken about the nose of the saddle being tilted down, but there are some instances where people have the nose of the saddle tilted up. And if you're riding like this, well, this could be an indicator that the saddle you're using is too narrow because you're constantly searching for the widest part. Now, saddle width was something I actually researched a while back at Celatali's HQ using their ID match jig. And it was really interesting what we found out there, but also what I discovered was if you have a saddle that is too narrow and therefore you have it tilted up at the nose, it's also going to put increased pressure on those soft tissue areas, and it's also going to rotate your pelvis backwards, leading to having a more curved back, which is not exactly a great thing for anyone. Now, as I explained earlier in this video, there is no one rule fits all for saddles, which makes it very tricky for us as consumers to figure out what is best. Now, there are brands out there who offer demo saddles either from your local bike shop or as an online service, both of which Celatalia do, so I would highly recommend you try before you buy. But as well as that, there are a few common mistakes that I see people making when it comes to choosing or using their saddle. So here are my top 3. Number 1, down tilted saddle. It promotes your pelvis to be able to rotate. Possibly so, because a number of bike fit experts suggest that by having a nose down tilted saddle, it promotes your pelvis to be able to rotate forwards, and this will enable you to be in a more low aerodynamic position and have a flatter back. Perfect for pro riders or those people that want to go fast. But what about when the speeds are lower and you want to regenerate more power, say when climbing? Well, a study conducted in 2022 by Ross Wilkinson and Roger Cram tested 19 different cyclists indoors on a cycling treadmill, cycling up an 8% gradient. And they were doing repeated 5-minute efforts. And they tried 2 different saddle angles, level and a negative 8-degree incline, so the nose down. What they found was a measurable difference in riders' efficiency. How much was it? Well, just 1.4%, so don't expect this to turn you into Tadej Pogacar, but it means it's something that could be worth a try. Since I started thinking about this video a number of weeks ago, I have tried riding with different saddle tilt angles myself, and honestly, I found no difference in terms of performance or comfort. If anything, I found it slightly detrimental to my riding because I was constantly shuffling myself back on the saddle rather than just enjoying the ride. And so far in this video, I've only really spoken about the nose of the saddle being tilted down, but there are some instances where people have the nose of the saddle tilted up. And if you're riding like this, well, this could be an indicator that the saddle you're using is too narrow because you're constantly searching for the widest part. Now, saddle width was something I actually researched a while back at Celatali's HQ using their ID match jig. And it was really interesting what we found out there, but also what I discovered was if you have a saddle that is too narrow and therefore you have it tilted up at the nose, it's also going to put increased pressure on those soft tissue areas, and it's also going to rotate your pelvis backwards, leading to having a more curved back, which is not exactly a great thing for anyone. Now, as I explained earlier in this video, there is no one rule fits all for saddles, which makes it very tricky for us as consumers to figure out what is best. Now, there are brands out there who offer demo saddles either from your local bike shop or as an online service, both of which Celatalia do, so I would highly recommend you try before you buy. But as well as that, there are a few common mistakes that I see people making when it comes to choosing or using their saddle. So here are my top 3. Number 1 being more money doesn't equal more comfort. So a £50 saddle that is the right shape and width for you will always be more comfortable than a £400 saddle that's the wrong shape and the wrong width. I think most people can see the logic behind that. But even if you're looking at 2 saddles which are the same shape, model and width but at different price points, the more expensive one typically means that it will just be lighter rather than more comfortable. And then number 2 is choosing a saddle just because a pro rider uses it. You see, pro riders' bodies are different to ours. The type of riding they do is different, and the power pro riders can sustain is very different, which means the saddles that they use are not always going to be the best option for you. Riders who are perhaps heavier or cycle at lower powers or in a more upright position, or maybe all three at once, probably benefit from some extra padding and a wider saddle. Now that extra padding is because of more pressure on the saddle, and the extra width is due to less rotation of the pelvis, which means the area which interacts with the saddle is wider than when in a low racing position. Now most saddles of course do come in different widths, either with or without this central cutout here. Now the way Italia help to categorize their range is with a code. You have S and L, which stands for small and large widths, either 135 or 145 millimeters wide. And then they're numbered, either 1, 2, or 3. Number 1 means there's no central cutout, number 2 is a small pressure reducing cutout, and number 3 is like this with this large central cutout. Now I tend to use S3, and that's based on the information that I received from the ID Match bike fitting and saddle pressure mapping jig when I visited their HQ last year. Finally, number 3, ignoring other aspects of your body and bike. Now I have kind of covered this a bit already, but really thinking about how you interact with the saddle is key. Now if, like me, you've spent years using different saddle shapes and just sitting on the saddle quite badly, you're going to have to work hard to correct that, even when you're using the best saddle for you. And also, don't forget saddle angle and height and the saddle to handlebar drop. And bike fits in general all contribute towards saddle comfort. Think of it as a system all having to work together, which also includes your cycling shorts. So using super old worn out ones, or maybe just not even using shorts at all, will cause extra discomfort. So maybe it's time to retire the old faithfuls, or if you're cycling, say, further than a few kilometers or miles, think about using some cycling shorts if you're not already doing so. And that alone will make a huge difference to your comfort. So there you go, saddle tilt is generally something that you shouldn't need to do, providing of course you've got the right shape saddle for you, your saddle's the right width, and of course other aspects of your bike fit are matched up right for you. There will of course always be exceptions for this though, and I am keen to hear your thoughts on this, so please do get involved in the comment section down below and let me know whether you choose to have your saddle level, nose down, or one of the rare people that seems to have their saddle nose up. And as always, if you want to support what we do and you like the videos that we make, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Right, I'm out of here. Bye.
Nobody leaves here until you hand me an idea that I can shock the world with in a few days' time. You are all selfish mother...
Let's talk about finance lessons from the 5th episode of Billion Season 2 based on my work experience at Goldman Sachs in New York City and based on my work experience at the top hedge funds in the world. Now please like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around, because at the end of this video, I'm going to grade the episode for Wall Street Realism with a buy, hold, or sell rating. Now in this video, we're going to talk about 2 different topics. Topic 1 is why day trading does not work. And during topic 1, we'll discuss exactly how the most successful hedge funds make money by thinking longer term. And we'll also talk about their research process, which you can easily learn. And then in topic 2, we'll discuss how governments change interest rates. Now in topic 2, we'll also discuss shorting currencies, because Axe does this in this episode. And we'll discuss how George Soros made $1 billion in one day when he shorted the British pound. And this is a special situation because in almost all occasions, short-term trading does not work. Let's start with topic 1, which is day trading. In this episode, Axe's investments are down for the first time ever in a given quarter. And he's got 3 days left in the quarter to make money. And so what he does is he puts tremendous pressure on his portfolio managers and analysts to make money in only 3 days. But can they do it?
What do you have for me?
I'm peeling back the skin on Territory Petroleum. They're sitting on good numbers. If they come out and bump 7s.
Too late. When the numbers come out, we're dead man walking.
Now, that energy sector portfolio manager thinks that earnings will be great when the company reports, but it won't be until next quarter. So what other ideas do his employees have?
Ferguson.
Rip our liquid longs. I've got a few positions on my book that are ready for juicing, and we could add some classy names to the investors.
Window dressing.
Now, that analyst said to sell illiquid stocks that have lost him money and replace them with high-quality stocks before the end of the quarter. Why did he say that? Because if you manage over $100 million in assets like Axe Capital does, then by law, you have to disclose to the market what you own every single quarter. And window dressing means let's buy a bunch of great stocks at the end of the quarter so investors see the amazing stocks that we own and not the losers that cost us money. But this does not solve Axe's problem of showing a negative return in the quarter. And Axe actually has issues trying to get his employees to day trade to make money really, really fast. And as a result, he explodes with this comment.
You are all playing it safe for the quarter so you have a shot of personally being up on the year. You are all selfish.
Accurate. Now, at hedge funds, at least close to year end, portfolio managers like to lock in their profits so they get a bonus, which is often 10% of what the firm made that year. What is not accurate about this is that Axe is trying to force his employees to make money in 3 days by day trading. And later on in this video you're watching right now, I'll teach you how the best hedge funds invest. But first, and I say this with love of my heart, please, 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 do not day trade because it will all end badly. And there's a reason we cannot name a single day trader that's been successful primarily focused on day trading in the long run, because they don't exist. Why is that? Because in the short run, stocks go up or down for really random reasons outside of our control. For example, comments from political leaders or geopolitical issues like war, or anything that can make commodities like oil go up a lot or down a lot, or even economic data points like unemployment or inflation statistics can make stocks go up or down a lot, and it's really hard to forecast these short-term events. Now, each month has 20 weekdays, meaning 20 days that the major markets are open. And it's absolutely impossible. It's impossible to make money every month. Now, please read this book by Taleb called Fooled by Randomness for more details. Now, the worst thing that can ever happen to a new day trader is they make money on their first trade. Why is that? Because it's the exact same thing as going to a casino the first time and making money on your first bet. And people think it's repeatable, but the casino or the market always wins in the long run and not the gambler or the day trader. So please don't be seduced by day trading. And as Warren Buffett said, the longer the view, the wiser the intention. In fact, when Warren Buffett invests in a stock, he tells himself that he doesn't care if the stock market is closed for 10 years after he buys the stock. Buffett has owned Coca-Cola for decades. And he said if you bought Coke on the first day, meaning during the IPO, you would be down 50% 1 year later. But if you didn't sell a share, then of course you would have made a killing in the long run. Separately, look at this chart here from 2012 to 2024. It's basically a 5-bagger if you just held onto it. Now, can you guess what investment this chart represents? And imagine how much money you would lose if you tried to day trade this chart. Now, do you know what investment this is? This is the S&P 500. And we'll talk about investing in individual stocks in a second. But when you invest, tell yourself, I don't know the path, but I know the destination. And you'll sleep better at night, and you won't pay as much in taxes as you pay less in capital gains tax if you hold something for more than a year before booking profits. And in a second, I'll show you how to do research on investments so you don't have to day trade and so you don't have to rely on only investing in ETFs. But first, if all you did was you put your 401k retirement annual savings of about $23,000 in the S&P 500 for every year for 20 years, then in 20 years you would have over $1 million. And if your spouse did it too, then you would have over $2 million. And you wouldn't have a heart attack every time the market sold off for random reasons that you can't control. So by being longer term focused, your wealth and your health will benefit. Now, if a hedge fund makes money every month, then they are cooking the books and potentially breaking the law with insider information. And the best performing hedge funds are actually not day traders. They put on 1 to 3 year positions with a very well thought out investment thesis that thoroughly analyzes the fundamentals of a company in the very long run. And the grandfather of hedge funds is Julian Robertson, who founded hedge fund Tiger in the 1980s. And he was very long-term focused. And many of his employees started their own longer-term focused hedge funds called Tiger Cubs, per these examples you see right here. And it's a misconception that successful hedge funds are day traders in the long run. Most of the money that successful hedge funds make are based on a handful of ideas each year that they do a ton of research on. And these companies that they invest in can double or triple in a year. So how do they do this research? Well, I'm going to show you. And by law, successful hedge funds have no information or knowledge edge or advantage over you. And so I created this 100-step investment idea spreadsheet that analyzes every aspect of a company based on your research. And this is based on my decades of investing experience. Now, in this spreadsheet, I ask you 730 questions based on your research that you type into the spreadsheet to help you with a long-term stock investment idea. And after completing the spreadsheet, you'll have a one-pager automatically created for you. Ignore my dummy data here. But this one-pager analyzes the company for you and helps you come up with a target price. Now, what's also included based on your research is a massive dashboard that visualizes your analysis and a 100-plus page investment research report as well. Now, there's 100 steps here in 3 categories that professional investors analyze, including qualitative research topics at the top here, quantitative research topics in the middle, and financial model-based research at the bottom. And the professional hedge funds have no edge on you because we all have access to the exact same research sources as they do, meaning annual reports, quarterly reports, press releases, online webcasts we can attend for free, investor relations content, etc. Now, each tab on this spreadsheet has a long YouTube video in the 20th row, you can click on it there, explaining in lots of detail how professional hedge funds complete each of the 100 steps. And qualitative research here includes analyzing the management team, catalysts, drivers, barriers to entry, and much more. Quick side note, I always start with analyzing the management team because ideas are commodities but execution is not. And I usually hate investing in companies where the founder is no longer running the company. Now, top hedge funds also analyze quantitative data like the total addressable market, market growth, market share, etc. And if you don't analyze the data, then you only have an opinion and not a well thought out investment idea. Then all this stuff feeds into the hedge fund's most important part of their investment research, which is financial research and building and forecasting your financial model in order to come up with a target price in the long run on the company that you're investing in. Now, do you ever look at a stock and think, I love this company, but it's expensive at 100 times this year or next year's earnings? Well, the best hedge funds and investors do not value companies based on their earnings estimates this year or next year. Rather, they value companies based on their earnings per share estimates in 3, 5, or 10 years from today. And this is why many stocks look expensive today to most investors. Now, years ago, I invested in Amazon as a long position at a hedge fund I worked at. And my colleagues would say to me, Chris, you're cray-cray to invest in Amazon because it trades at over 100 times earnings, and this is a widowmaker for you. And I said, no, it trades at only 4 times my earnings estimates in 5 years, meaning a PE of 4. So we need to really do our own research and forecast financial statements many years into the future in order to understand the true earnings power of companies that we want to invest in. And this is the secret to how many successful hedge funds make money. They're not day traders. They're long-term focused. And my clients and students use this and many other frameworks I created for them. So always do your own research and don't ever buy a stock after you watch a video of someone pitching a stock to you. Why? Because if you don't do your own research, then you might buy poor quality companies, or even worse, you might sell the stock if it goes down. And as Warren Buffett said, the New York Stock Exchange is the only store in the world where consumers sell stuff when it goes on sale. Now, instead of being day traders, successful investors that work at the top hedge funds spend a lot of time building their financial models, which you can easily do as well, instead of wasting time on looking at technical analysis. Now, don't only look at technicals for your investment research. Spend way more time forecasting your financial statements, which you can easily learn to do, which is what I teach. So how can you learn accounting and finance from scratch and also get access to this spreadsheet? Well, what you can do is you can check out my book that McGraw-Hill published called Finance Essentials for Managers, which gives you all the tools you need to succeed as a non-financial professional. And the link is in the description of this video to this book. And a link to download this spreadsheet and many other spreadsheets and resources are included in this book of mine. And I promise you that you will make much more money in the long run if you do your own thorough research instead of day trading. Now you might be thinking, Chris, how do I even come up with an idea of what stock to invest in? Well, it all begins with an investment theme. For example, let's go to a free website together called etfdb.com, meaning ETF database, where you can analyze thousands of ETFs. And let's scroll down right here and let's pick a random investment theme like lithium. Let's say you're bullish on lithium. Well, we can click here on lithium, for example, and then we could select a lithium ETF here, and we can look at the holdings of this lithium ETF, and we can start to do bottoms-up research on one of these companies here. Now, the way you know that you have a good investment idea is if you complete the entire 100 steps of the investment write-up. And this acts as a safety net so that we don't get seduced into day trading. Let's get back to Season 2, Episode 5 of Billions. How much is Axe Capital down this quarter?
If the quarter ended today, we'd be underwater like Crimson Tide. Sansomic has pulled us down to negative 2.3%.
So, a down 2.3% return on a quarter is nothing, especially since this is Axe Capital's first down quarter ever. Nobody makes money every month or every quarter, and if they do, then statistically, they are likely doing something unethical. Now, if you chase performance into month or quarter end, then it will more often than not hurt you more in the long run. That much I promise you. Now, what some hedge funds do when they have a down quarter is they take their private venture capital investments, if they own them, and then they have their back office mark up the value of that asset in order to hide the losses in their stock market portfolio. And this could be unethical if not done correctly, of course. For example, let's say Axe Capital had a $500 million investment in a private AI venture-backed company that they own, and the value of the private investment went up a lot. Then what they could do is they could revalue or mark up that investment from, say, a $500 million investment to $1 billion investment, which would more than offset the 2.3% loss on the quarter. They do this all the time. Now, what other hedge funds do is if they're ever down, say, 4.9% in a month, and if they're worried about investors getting really upset in a month where they're down way more than 5%, then what they can do is they can take a knee, meaning they use options or adjust their stock portfolio so they don't lose more than 4.9% that month. Now, the best hedge funds don't usually have to consider doing this, though, because they have superb risk management metrics, meaning they will never be too long or too short the market, and they won't have more than 5% in any one stock, for example. And very sophisticated hedge funds use options to hedge their positions to ensure that they don't have a massive down month, which I talked about in this video right here, and the link is in the description to this video. Now, there are no ethical shortcuts, and Axe's most unethical portfolio manager has this to say in front of Axe and Axe's compliance director, who ensures that no insider information is used when investing.
The way I see it, we need a quick fix in a non-quick fix market.
Yeah.
I have an idea, but apparently I can't give it to you.
Now, when you're driving somewhere and you're running late, you might take a shortcut, but then you might get lost. And so never take a shortcut you've never taken before when you're in a hurry. Now, Axe's compliance director then tells Axe that it's okay to be down because you're human. So to get around this, Axe does this.
You were wrong. I'm not human. I am a machine. I'm a Terminator.
He then fired his compliance director because he does not know how to make money in the short run without breaking the law. Now, Axe could not get his equity, meaning stock market analyst, to give him an idea that can make money in only 3 days before the quarter ends. So he turns to another source to give Axe insider information on currency trading. And so topic 2 of 2 is how do governments change interest rates?
The Nigerian government is going to devalue their currency.
You know that?
The central bank governor told me.
Now, the central bank governor in Nigeria is the equivalent of the Federal Reserve in the United States. Now, if a stock or a currency goes down, investors can make money betting against it by shorting it. So in this case, the Central Bank of Nigeria is going to make the value of the Nigerian naira go down versus the US dollar. Why? Perhaps to get international investors to want to invest more in Nigeria. If a country's currency goes down, then all the stuff that country sells becomes cheaper, which attracts international investors, especially Chinese companies that want to purchase natural resources. And when central banks or the Federal Reserve wants their own currency to go down in value, what they do is they make it go down by cutting interest rates. So how does the central bank or the Federal Reserve cut interest rates in order to make the value of their currency go down? Well, they do so by increasing the supply of money out there. And we know that when the supply of anything like baseball or Pokemon cards goes up, then the price usually goes down and vice versa. So let me explain how this whole process works with a couple of props. Okay, this is kind of tight. There are 2 types of medicine that governments use to fix the economy, okay? One is called fiscal policy, which means spending money on stuff like highways to employ people and help the economy. And the other one is called monetary policy, which is the policy of money. Now, in this monetary policy medicine bag, we have a tool that can cut interest rates. Let's see what we have in here. Aha, here it is here. Okay, so we have a tool that can cut interest rates. How? Well, let's assume that I am the Federal Reserve in the United States, and you are all banks and investors. If I want to cut interest rates to jumpstart the economy, I can increase the money supply out there. This is fake money. Now, if the supply of money goes up, then the price goes down. And the price means interest rate. So how do I do this? Well, banks and investors own US government bonds. Let's pretend this is a US government bond that you own. Okay, so remember, I'm the government, I'm the Federal Reserve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all money so I can buy this bond back from all of you. Okay, so here's your money, and I bought this bond back. Now, because there's more money out there, okay, in the marketplace, the supply of money goes up. Then that means that the price of money goes down, meaning interest rates go down. Now, if that's complicated, think about it this way. Let's pretend that I'm Nintendo, okay? And I made 3 of these products here, okay? 3 Marios. And the price of these 3 Marios is really, really high because it's a collector's item. Now, let's say that Nintendo makes 8 million more of these. Then the price of Mario will go down because the supply increased. So if I'm the Federal Reserve and I want to increase interest rates, then I need to decrease the amount of money out there, okay? So what I can do is I can sell bonds to you, okay? So I give this to you, and then you give me your money, okay? I sold this to you. Now there's less money out there in circulation. Now, the most powerful weapon any country has is the ability to change interest rates. Why is that? Well, let's go back in time together. Okay. It's 1944, and let me get my hat here, okay? It's 1944, and I'm Canadian. I was born in Canada. It's 1944, and I'm the Bank of Canada. I want to find a way to raise money so I can do my part in building tanks and stuff to help fight the bad people in World War II. How can I do this? Well, as you can see here, what I can do is I can sell you bonds. I sell you bonds, okay? And you give me your money. Then I use the money that you gave me to help ensure that freedom prevails. Now, imagine if the Bank of Canada can't do this anymore. Well, freedom and capitalism would not exist. Now, as a quick side note, now you probably understand why some left-leaning countries make cryptocurrencies illegal. It's because without the flexibility of selling bonds, governments would fail And so the biggest threat to national security for some left-leaning countries is actually cryptocurrencies. Now, Bobby Axelrod realizes that if he wants to manipulate the value of the Nigerian naira by transacting in size to change the value of the naira versus the dollar, he can't do it himself because he does not have enough money. So instead, he does this.
Nigeria is going to devalue its currency.
Get the hell out of here.
How could you know that? Because we're going to make it happen.
So that's accurate. Axe actually set up what's called an idea dinner with other large hedge funds to help him with this trade. And idea dinners are very common on Wall Street so that hedge funds can talk their books, meaning promote their own holdings to other investors. Now, there are precedents for this idea dinner in this episode as well, because when George Soros forced the Bank of England in 1992 to devalue the pound and made $1 billion in one day, he partnered with other large hedge funds like what Bobby is trying to do right here. Now you're probably thinking, Chris, wait a second. You said earlier that day trading does not work. Well, this is a special situation that involved billions of coordinated dollars and multiple financial services firms partnering together with each other. And even then, the risks are insanely high.
Currency plays are all about timing. You get in too late, there's nothing there. But you get in too early, they raise interest rates and bleed you out of your position.
Agreed. Being early is the same as being wrong.
Soros then did the exact same thing by partnering with other hedge funds in 1997 to short the Thai baht. And George Soros made another $1 billion in 2013 and 2014 by shorting the Japanese yen. Now, how much money does Axe want to invest in the currency short position?
The threshold is $5 billion. I'm in it for 2. That leaves 1 each for you 3. So, which is the more powerful driver? Boning me or your own self-interest?
Not accurate. There's no way that Axe would invest well over 20% of his portfolio in one trade. I mean, that's really poor risk management, especially since he's trying to throw a Hail Mary pass just to recoup a 2.3% quarterly loss. Let's talk about grading this episode for Wall Street Realism with a buy, hold, or sell rating. The episode did an awesome job of showing how hedge fund employees try to lock in profits by being very conservative with investing at the end of a quarter so they can lock in their bonus. And the episode also did a superb job of showing how an incredibly unethical hedge fund might try to chase performance with insider information and currency manipulation in order to profit. However, there is no way that a large hedge fund would put on a 20% risky position in a currency for the sole reason of offsetting a manageable 2.3% quarterly loss. As a result, I'm going to give this episode a hold rating. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon in our next reaction video when we react to Season 2, Episode 6. Thank you.
We're going to teach those smug cyclists at GCN a lesson. They have decided that they can race us at a triathlon. Well, we're going to show them who's boss.
Whoa. We might only be one-trick ponies, but we are really good at cycling. So we reckon we can take out enough time on the bike.
Yeah, and limit our losses enough in the swim and the run to absolutely whoop you guys at your own game.
This is GCN versus GTN in a triathlon relay showdown. There's a lot of rivalry in the office between GTN and GCN. I mean, not from our side. James has won Challenge Roth, arguably one of the biggest events in our sport. I've been to the Olympics, but those guys, on the other hand.
Well, Dan did race cycling's biggest race in the world, the Tour de France, but he finished nearly lost. And Si, well, he wasn't even close to qualifying for that. You could say he's a bit of a jack of all trades, i.e., he's mastered none. Maybe that insecurity explains all the sock jokes.
What a tit.
Well, this all sort of came about really after earlier in the year, Alex Payton, another GCN presenter, and I absolutely destroyed GTN's Mark Threlfall.
Annihilated him, didn't you? I mean, he was just totally embarrassed.
Yeah, he was, in a cycling time trial. And such was the margin of victory that we began to think, well, maybe we're so good at cycling that it would limit our losses on the swim and the run. Not that we actually need to limit very much, because Dan is actually bloody good at running.
Yeah, quite a legendary runner at this point. And also, it turns out, we found this out the other day, so our other presenter, Connor Dunn, he was actually a child swimming prodigy. In fact, to this day, he still holds a number of records at the very prestigious Chesham Swimming Club.
At what age?
I mean, he was under 12 then, so he's only 6'3", but still.
So, where is Connor?
So Connor actually can't be here today because he decided to go to Finland for a gravel race, unfortunately.
So who have you got on the swim?
Well, Ollie's away as well, isn't he, in France? And then we found out from Alex, he can only do doggy paddle, which is no good.
Yeah, and granny stroke.
Doggy paddle and granny stroke. But the talent pool at GCN does run quite deep, doesn't it? So we roped in a very talented filmmaker called Tom.
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I would have liked a little bit more warning. I've done zero training, but I'm going to do it for the team.
Whoa. What are those?
They are the latest, greatest on running shoes.
You've been raiding the GTN stores. Where did you get those from?
Not raiding. I mean, I saw a box underneath your desk and they weren't being used and they're my size, not yours. So here they are. I mean, I think they're going to make the difference today.
Do you need help tying the laces? I mean, they're not boas.
I'm getting there. I've still got an hour until I need to run.
Well, there is a caveat though. I think if you're going to wear those, you have to wear the full uniform, which means if you're going to wear those, you have to wear these.
What are they?
They go together. They running shorts.
A mini skirt?
No, it's running shorts. All the fast runners wear them.
Absolutely fine with me. I should put them on.
Fine. Either that or you have to give the shoes back.
All right, no worries. Thanks, James. I should go and get changed.
Oh no, I've got a wrinkle.
All right, there you go. Thanks, mate.
We're not worried, are we, James? But there is quite a lot at stake here.
There is. And I'm not worried. We're also missing a third presenter. Both Mark and our new recruit Tom are away this weekend, so we are a man down. However, we at GTN also have some strength in depth. Ever wondered who's holding the camera whilst running behind the scenes in all of our GTN epics? It's this guy, Peter.
So, Peter, what time are you hoping to run your 10K?
Oh, I'd like to run just under 34 minutes if I can.
So that should be quite a few minutes faster than Dan. I'm feeling fairly confident about the swim. James, what about you on the bike?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I've got the brand new Speed Max, while Sai is on a road bike. And I should also be able to take a few seconds out of him in transition, because he does have to run a little bit to his bike and then to Dan afterwards. And have you ever seen that guy try and run?
Now, I've got a bit of a surprise for you, mate.
Yeah.
So the run is supposed to be 10 kilometres. Yeah. Well, I managed to shorten it. So I've got obviously a few friends. This is my hometown.
Yeah.
I've organised an illegal rave, and they've got pretty good endurance, those guys.
Yeah.
So they're still going strong. So the run course has had to be shortened. So you've only got to do 5.
5K?
5K.
That's my speciality.
Well, I thought so.
Oh, amazing.
I thought you'd be pleased.
Oh, we're going to absolutely hammer them.
Hello, whereabouts are you guys?
But that was only a
okay,
of a massive break.
we're at the start because you guys are off in 12 minutes. Is that Tom? Okay, Heather, just before you go in, who's going to win?
Well, I think that's obvious.
Okay, all right. Even a 5K run?
Even with a 5K run, I mean, come on. Like, we've got Peter. He's a weapon.
Best of luck, mate.
GTN.
Go on, Heather. Doesn't want to sit down and let's start.
Gotta have
If you think GTN are going to win, make some noise. Yeah! All right, if you think GTN are going to win, make some noise. There we go. The Bristol triathletes have spoken.
You're in our pod now, boys. These are our people.
Right now, whether it's on the GCN versus GCN race, you're in the hands of the starter.
3, 2, 1!
He's staying on his feet so far.
Anyone thinks they want to do it.
Come on, Heather, put on his surge and gap them.
Early days, but Tom is looking good, right? He's on Heather's feet. She's the one that's got to find her way around, and he's just going to follow. He's looking good, isn't he, Dan?
He's looking fantastic. Yeah, he's lulling Heather into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
That's my estimation of what his tactics are.
Yeah. Now, Dan, I've also spoken to the organiser. I found out what we need to do. So you need to wait at the bike for when I finish, and I've got to run all the way through transition.
You've got to run?
I've got to actually run as well, yeah.
Oh,
so
God,
so we haven't factored that into our strategy.
No.
So we are going to lose a little bit of time.
Wow, what a blow.
It's like minutes.
Yeah.
Well done, Heather! You're not looking too bad. 2 laps though, yeah?
You can see Heather out in front. Big gap already to Tom.
Heather's looking like she's getting quite tired now, doesn't she?
Well, Tom's doing breaststroke currently.
That's all right. That's quite quick.
How's that confidence slowly evaporating there?
No, mate, no. I know my power numbers.
What?
Tom's been caught by the next wave, so I think he's gonna be able to follow them now, isn't he?
Well, I hope so, because he's just missed the turn. Turn, Tom! Turn! Oh, there we go.
Yes, good lad, good lad, good lad.
Extra couple meters doesn't make any difference. Here comes Heather back past us.
She is absolutely machining it, isn't she? Was quite fast.
Really fast. This is not quite fast, right?
No. Come on, James.
Yeah. Wait till you have to do this.
Up. Come on. You're losing time, guys. Just to say, you're losing time.
It's all right.
Oh, wait, well, watching you guys, didn't we?
Me and Tom have spent a long time practicing that bit.
Tom's spare.
Come on, James.
Tire.
So that chop, it's funny, it looks nothing to you guys from here.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, to put 5 seconds on when I'm working like doubly hard.
Yeah.
Like per 100, that's quite a lot. How was Tom looking?
No, he was looking good. Like, fair play to him.
Yeah, I mean, I was genuinely like, to start with, I was like, I was picturing him, I was like, I think he's on my feet, and I was like, don't look round, it's like that. Can't be seen to be looking. I was like, I have to wait till the boy, and I was like, he wasn't that far off at the first boy. But I think I opened it up a bit later on. He might have gone out a bit hard.
Yeah.
Which I also went out hard, so I was like, yeah, drop him.
Go on, Tom! Let's go!
Tom, this is your best bit! Well done, Tom. All the way to the guys. Well done. Go.
Yes, mate, I'll take it off. Well done, buddy. That was fantastic.
Look, there's some work to do, Si.
No, mate, that was amazing. Fantastic, mate.
Oh, you're doing well there.
Good one, mate. Thanks, guys. Go, mate.
I've just spotted Si from the other side of the river, and he stood out because he looks like he's meaning a business on that road bike. Yeah, here he comes. Come on, Si! Smashing it! Oh, that is a pain face if I ever saw one. Haven't seen James, but I know James is definitely still ahead. The question is that gap going to stay? Here he is. Come on, James! Woo!
I'm behind the camera now. Yeah, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. I just had to get around. Well, I managed it, I got around. Not as quick as I wanted to be.
Si! Come on!
I was looking very fast. I'm not sure it's going to be quite fast enough though.
I did push. A little cramp in my hammies there on the last couple laps, but I'm okay.
Peter's quite a good runner, and I have in the region of 5.5 minutes to make up on it in 5Ks. It's doable with my talent, but we'll see.
Just started the run. James was flying. I'm ahead of Dan, so I think GTN have got this in the bag.
In the shoes? He's in the shoes.
Yeah, he's in his shoes, yeah.
I've never seen Si run.
Oh, look at Toby run. Look at the sprint. Jesus Christ. Well done, Si. Great running. Great running. Well done, mate. Cheers.
Right, well done, buddy. So I reckon like 13 minutes. You got that?
Yeah.
Good lad.
For the first 2K.
Great job, that's what you need, mate. Hang on.
Go, Dan!
Down the right.
Down the right.
Why are you running in your bike shoes?
So I know obviously the new thing in running is carbon shoes.
Yeah.
And there is nothing stiffer than these bad boys. So
Yeah.
I
That's
figured.
not what we talk about when we talk about carbon shoes.
It's just down the pavement, follow the road.
Thank you.
Okay, down. Let's go.
Thank you. Cheers.
just hit the turnaround point. It's the home stretch now.
Well done, Peter.
Well done. Just seen down. Got a good gap.
Peter was just going in the other direction, looking very fast. I've just done the first K in 4:05. I thought I was going to be able to speed up, but it already feels quite tough.
Come on, Dan, let's go!
Cheers.
Well done, mate. Good job.
Heather and James just informed me that we run over the line as a team. No one told me this. So I'm just going to pop them in sport mode.
Cheers.
Here they come!
Great job, mate. First place. First place ribbon.
So here is how things shaped up in the end. Heather put in a big shift on the swim and put GTN into a frankly unassailable lead. So I did manage to claw back 2 minutes and 38 seconds on the 40-kilometre bike, and he can take some consolation in posting the fastest bike split of the day. But not that much. He was, frankly, quite disappointing. And in the run, Peter extended GTN's lead back out once again with a great 5.3 kilometre time. But I did incredibly well too.
Well, I've got to say, lads, I feel a little bit like I might have let you down there. I can only conclude that James's new bike is very fast, and he is a much, much better cyclist than Mark Ruffle. Because where I managed to put 10 minutes into Mark, and it was, what, 2 minutes? 2.5 minutes into James?
Well, don't feel too bad, Si, because you were the only one of the three of us that put any time into GTN.
Yeah, but that was the bit that I was supposed to be good at.
I mean, I had no chance against Peter anyway, because he's like a whippet. He ran back towards me, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's going so quick. Even visibly coming towards me, it felt quick.
Yeah.
How was the swim?
It was
tough.
Yeah, it was tough. I was like hoping to like cling on to Heather and just have her like feet in sight for as long as possible, but that didn't last for nearly as long as I wanted it to.
Lasted a fair way though.
Yeah, did it? Okay, that's good to know. And then she was gone for dust. And then I enjoyed it. But yeah, it was maybe a little bit of a humbling experience. But
Funny that you couldn't compete with an Olympian.
Have you done much open water stuff? Because it looks hard.
I've done one triathlon, but like literally like 15 years ago. So no, I used to do a lot of pool stuff. So that's my excuse. Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah.
all the excuses in.
Fair play for just jumping in at the last minute and doing a 1,500 metre open water swim with no wetsuit.
There's no way I would have done that.
No.
What was your average speed?
43, I think.
Nice. Average heart rate?
176. So I was going old school, so I got it to like 180, and then like, right, I'm just going to try and keep it there.
Yeah. Well, I was reasonably happy with my run, but I would have done a 20 minutes on the dot pretty much had it been 5Ks, but it was 5.3Ks, and that completely cracked me. Because I got to 5Ks, I couldn't see the finish. I was like, well, how long have they made this thing? But I know it was supposed to be 10. I thought they found an extra 2K somewhere. I'm already at my limit, thinking about 5Ks. Anyway.
How was the rave?
The rave was pretty good.
Yeah?
Tempting.
Did you go past it?
Yeah, twice. Twice, yeah. Although they were drinking water. It's not like raves of old.
No. We should probably say that Heather and James and Peter were actually quite good, shouldn't we?
They did do well, didn't they?
They did actually do really well.
You can see why they're triathletes, these two of them.
Well, yeah, and actually successful as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well done GTN.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
3, 2, 1.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Well done, team.
Oh.
I mean, we smashed them.
We did.
I was pretty worried.
Oh, wait, shall I put my medal on? You've all got yours on.
It doesn't matter. I'll put it on.
Jeez, okay.
Creators, man.
Yeah, that's why they're
Keep them behind the camera.
You letting me beside it?
I mean, I was a little worried going into this, I'm not going to lie. I haven't done much biking, like next to none. I've got a brand new bike, but a brand new bike's not very good when you haven't actually ridden it because you're not used to the position. However, I felt amazing out there, actually.
I was shocked every time I saw you come around, James. You were like looking like you were enjoying it, but also smashing it. It was great to see. And I was doing the time checks, and I was like, this gap's not really, I missed the first few laps as I was sort of getting changed, but then I was like, the gap's not really changing. James is holding this.
Well, we had a big gap because of your swim. Happy with the swim?
Well, I was a bit frustrated with the time on my watch, but if it was actually 1,500 meters, it was okay. I swam hard. I never swim hard because I normally have to bike and run. So I was like, right, I'm going to go out. And I then felt a little bit guilty because first of all, the only time I saw Tom, he was quite close. So I was like, I'm going to just keep imagining he's on my toes. Turned out he wasn't. So I did feel a little bit bad when I finished, but equally, it's a race, as you know.
Yeah, it's a race. And then out on the bike, obviously, I saw on the first out and back that I had a pretty substantial gap, but the red mist kind of descended. And I was like, well, I'm just going to leave everything out here because if we're going to smash them, we may as well smash them properly.
Yeah, properly.
I was cramping a little bit in my hamstrings on the last lap, and I was like, oh man, I could come to a grinding halt here, you know, be riding with one leg straight. But actually that was fine. The bike felt amazing. The course was great. And I was seeing Sai occasionally, but the gaps weren't moving. He was making a little bit of time on me. Every time I saw him, he was a little bit further down the road than last time, but I'm talking seconds, not minutes, and he needed minutes. So I was pretty comfortable. It does beg the question, and we are going to have to put it to him when we see him again. How did Mark lose 10 minutes on Sai? Because our team structure here was based a little bit around Sai is really strong on the bike. He absolutely smashed